our life? Would you eat it in the backseat of my ride? And I know it's risky, right? But I want it in the backseat of my. Ooh, we these fellas can't mind their business. Get spanking so they know I'm taking. They don't wanna up this present. Ooh, we gon' steam up this parking lot, babe. Won't you eat it out with light? Oh yeah, yeah. Would you eat it in the backseat of my ride? And I know it's risky, right? Oh yeah. But I want it in the backseat of my. They must have scared, but who gon' take me? Ooh, this guy is getting foggy. The brown skin all on my body. The brown skin gon' drive me crazy. Won't you eat it out with light? Would you eat it in the backseat of my ride? And I know it's risky, right? But I want it in the backseat of my. Would you eat it out with light? Would you eat it in the backseat of my ride? And I know it's risky, right? I know. But I want it in the backseat of my. Good is it bad when there's a hoodie is there, so I want it now. Love me long time, oh I used to move my ride, so I want it now. What good is it bad when there's a hoodie is there, so I want it now. Love me long time, oh I like to move my ride, so I want it now.
Thanks for another day, another opportunity to say things I sometimes forget to say, like thank you for giving me life, strength and health, for the power to create wealth, and the family that you're giving me, and for giving me, Lord, I love your love. Soothes me, moves me, said it speaks peace to my soul. You invite me, inspire me, you're the reason why I do what I do. Holds me, and it covers me, lifts me up, gives me hope for tomorrow. Molds me, shapes me, I know your love another I will never follow. You feed me your love daily, with your word you renew me, restoring the virtue that goes out of you through me. Your purpose for me has me so overwhelmed that you consider me a vessel worthy to be used and receive your love. Soothes me, moves me, said it speaks peace to my soul. You invite me, inspire me, you're the reason why I do what I do. Holds me,
just listened to your story, what you need tonight. You just taking out and taking out a bite. Took you to the home, I like it, make it tonight. Making this your home, I guess you staying tonight. And I don't know how I feel about that. That's why they come and go when I just made that. Hoes come and go, that's why when I come and go. Hoes come and go, I guess when I come they go. I ain't here to judge, babe. I just wanna make you wait. I just wanna make you wait. I just wanna make you touch. I just wanna make you wait. I just wanna make you go. And I don't care about your weight. Fat is sicker than a Snicker. Ooh, you're thicker than a Snicker. Allergic to the peanut butter. Guess you're sicker than a Snicker. I just need you away. I just need you today. I just need you to stay, babe. Making this your home for the night. I got that you made me for the night. I guess I can make it for the night. I guess I just need you for the night. Yeah, don't take this the wrong way. I just want you today. I guess she know in the way. She finna get out the way. She finna get out the way. I guess they want me to say it. I guess she want me to lay it. I guess she want me to say it. Take me to over the home. Take me to the back of the home. Take me to the back of your home. Tell me if you at home. Look like a ball to me. Look like a club to me. Clubbing and clubbing away. Tiger, they want me to say. I guess you take me to woods, babe. I guess you want me like what, babe? I guess you do me like what's that? I guess you tell me like what's that? I guess you play like 6 and 9. I guess you want me like 6 and 9. I guess you want me like overtime. I guess you need me like overtime. Luke said 500K was the move. Hey, I gotta get up and move. I gotta get up and groove. Hey, I gotta get up and groove. I know she want me today. I know she need it today. I got some pay my way. I got some pay for my way. I guess this your home for the night. I guess that you stay in the night. For the night. I guess this your home for the night, babe. For the night, babe. I guess that's your home for the night, babe. For the night, babe. I guess this your home for the night ago. I guess this your home for the night ago. I see that you know. I see that you know. She called me your money, but she screaming, swearing no. I guess this you need it, guess you need it for you go. I guess this you need it, guess you need it for you go. We can chill out, I guess remember before you go. And she'll remember my name if she going all the way home. And she'll remember my name if she going all the way home. My name if she going all the way home. Why not just tie the knot? Oh, we're a winning combination. See the smiles is on the congregation. Why we exchange our eyes. Me in an all black tux, you in an all white dress. You're the prettiest, finest thing I've ever seen. That's why God made you for me. This is the day that the cameramen capture memorable moments, and
wine. Step for the first time. Can we praise dance together? Take my hand and step in His name. Everybody join us and step in His name. Step in the name of Jesus' name. Come on and step in His name. Step in His name. Step in His name. Step in His name. Oh, this is the day that He made. This is the day that He made. Yeah.
Join me, Uncle Funky, at noon Eastern Standard Time every Saturday for our music show, Give Me the Night, here on iLive Radio, and enjoy a nooner like no.
My love is lost and found, but now I see you standing there. I'm on and off the life, it's never fair, but this is rare. Cause this is one in a minute, meaning I got that feeling. I wonder if she's got a ring, married with some children. But every time I see her out, I see her chilling. I'm my biggest fan, like I'm spinning on a ceiling. Or should I play my cards, I'm thinking like a true magician. Show a magic in your life, tell me how you're living. I see your moon gaze, love, I see your stars. And I see your smiles, lady, and I see your scars. I like conversation, tell me who you are. This love intoxication, trying to reach the bar. But conquered by the lover, I seen there's no other. But how it's undercovers, making so many undercovers. Through the sun and rain, I can see a few regions. Patiently waiting, love, I'm feeling for your seasons.
And I know she's back for me, yeah. Nobody tells me, oh, I can feel it. Yeah. Everybody's telling me, yeah. Hot like the winter, cold like summer, yeah. I need the season. I need the
Miss Beautiful, steady clocking at every move. This is the truth, win or lose, how can this brother choose? Just picture this perfect picture. If we never meet again, how can I really get ya? Life could be tricky if I never enter your center. You could just be cold as the summer, hot as the winter. Mona Lisa put me in the frame just to get her. The baddest thing I ever seen, but she is not a killer. I'm just a man, a saint and a sinner. I wanted for your number to take you out for dinner. This life could be bigger, the king in your corner, and you could be my queen, just following your order. I'm on a kind of sorta, but you really got me feeling. If the stars and the moons are really that appealing, but your soul is legendary. This beautiful truth, I know it's scary. The reason for your joy and pain to bless me.
and I know she's back for me, yeah. Nobody tells me, oh, I can feel it. Yeah. Everybody's telling me, yeah. Hot like the winter, cold like summer, yeah. Season, I need the season. Oh, I can breathe. I keep on breathing. I need the season. I need the season. Oh, I can breathe. I keep on breathing. I need the season. I should talk to you without delay. Stop running and I have a word to say. Why is it so hard to make my feeling known? Talk to you and you can watch me read it. I need the season. I should talk to you without delay. Stop running and I have a
We are in a so-called free society, and as a black man, we literally don't feel free. We don't know what freedom is.
Every time we're killed, the first thing you see on the news is, criminal record. So how can I not be afraid when I feel like I'm being hunted? When I feel like I'm there to fill a quota?
We asked for it, so it's real, it's not make-believe. A white man finally decides to take a knee to the neck of George Floyd is where it had to be. Now Colin Cap typing hashtag rest in peace, let me see. Rule 1, stop watching. You worry about the footage, not the thought to try and stop it. We need to start busting back, but y'all still marching. Thinking that we all can eat, but brothers still starving. I'm starving. A double pandemic, act like you know this. We ducking shots from cops and trying to hide from COVID. Why? Religion got us praying for the wicked. Now I'm walking out. God said an eye for an eye, so what you talking about? Exodus, the medicine, I'm sick, I'm about to off them now. But a cash payout to the families, what they offer now. Damn. It's no gray area when they taking lives. Why? So so-called good white folks, take a side. Don't ride the fence and feel bad when they kill us. It's time to weaponize your white privilege and aim for the killers. Clan trade the sheets for a badge now. FBI identified, but they don't want to act now. I'm sick of seeing hashtags say his name. This is war, major pain. I'm talking about my heart and the character by Damon Wayans. When one of them don't make it home, that's gonna change the game. Now let's go change the game. GDs, BDs, Stones and Fours, Black Panthers, Vice Lords, Bloods and Crips, NOI, that's the answer. Not promoting violence, do what you gotta do. You don't acknowledge war, you part of the problem too. If black men being hunted not offending you, Breonna Taylor, Sandra Bland, they're killing women too. I ain't prepared to really deal with this. My mind focused on my mama cause she really sick. But we can't jog, we can't talk, shut up and dribble. We can't breathe, sipping tea, rocking hoodies, eating Skittles. And good cops just as bad, y'all complicit. Y'all turn the other cheek, I think it's time to start snitching. Right now. Black folks searching for a leader, and that's the reason why they always gonna defeat us. Stop looking up to preachers and these speakers. If we stay on code, it's difficult for them to beat us.
Okay, it's my 6th week here, so give me 1 second here. Guys, sorry, my apologies to the iLive community here. It's my 6th week in here, and I forgot to hit the R encoder, so now we are pushing out to the World Wide Web. My apologies, but we are recording this internally. So for all of you guys who have just joined us, we have Michael Coombs on the phone with us right now. Mike is a DJ who had starting out in community radio and has transitioned to nightlife. He's been the Canadian DJ of the Year 3 times, Canadian Wedding DJ of the Year 3 times. And we're just talking to him right now about his early days in radio and essentially how to transition, sort of going from your start in radio to being now what he's doing, which is in the private event industry. So sorry about that, everyone, but I think we are up and running and good to go. Yes, I'm still working out the kinks.
Do I have to start over?
No, let's start right over again. Well, let me go back to my theme music.
Yeah.
Again, I guess in terms of, maybe DJs now, I guess like how could other DJs move up from sort of the types of events or maybe the circles that they're in to currently maybe move into a different type of bracket? Like, what was that decision like for you to move from radio into the private event industry? What was that like?
Well, it wasn't a huge issue for me personally, only because when I started off my DJ career, like I mentioned earlier, you have to go back and listen, but my partner at the time, Jester, and I, we were already DJing weddings. Mm-hmm. So we were DJing weddings in the early 90s. And so transitioning back to it wasn't that difficult because I already understood how to DJ a wedding and I understood how to create that vibe. I think the biggest thing or the biggest issue that I find a lot of DJs make when they leave the radio or the club industry and want to move into private events is you have to do a huge paradigm shift. And what I mean is, for example, when you're in the nightclub scene, you're playing Friday night at, we'll say Club X. You're playing Friday night Club X and it's a hip hop night, hip hop, R&B, reggae, whatever. And that's what the audience is coming to hear. Mm-hmm. They're coming to hear you, the DJ, play this specific style of music. And they're here to see you. They know it's going to be played. They have a good feel for what the night's going to be about. But when you move into the private event industry, it's no longer about you. It's about the client. It's about the couple. It's about their event, their party. So you are not the primary focus anymore. You have a very important part in the success of the event, but you're not the focus. You're there to cater to them and to play to them. And a lot of DJs can't make that transition from being, look, I'm the man, I'm the woman, you come to hear me, this is what I do, to I'm still the man, the woman, but I'm here to cater to you and make sure that you guys have an amazing time.
Right, right. Yeah, I think maybe just to add as well, I think the amount of genres that you have to prepare for,
definitely,
I think also really changes, right? You're crushing a set of whatever, and then
like especially in a city like Toronto, where we're from, it's one of the biggest multicultural cities in the world, and you have to be able to play for everybody. So you need to have a good idea of how to play classic rock, how to play disco, how to play 80s. And when people say 80s, it's like, what is 80s to you? Is it like 80s new wave, like the Depeche Mode New Order, or is it 80s R&B soul, like Michael Jackson, Chaka Khan, or 80s pop, like Tiffany, Debbie Gibson, 80s rock, Bon Jovi, Def Leppard? It's like there is so much to pull in, and you have to have such a huge understanding of everything, because you never know, like the couple, the guests, the client will tell you what to expect, but you can walk into that wedding and what they tell you can be completely different than what you expected. There have been nights that I've gone everywhere from playing like classic rock to playing soca and chutney and bhangra and everything in between. So you need to be prepared and able to cater to those different styles of music and different guests' likes and wants. Right.
And I'm wondering if you can kind of elaborate on that, because I know, having chatted with you in terms of sort of like a consultation, we won't maybe get into like every blow by blow in terms of that, but sort of the overall vibe that I get from you, having chatted with you so many years ago as I just began my mobile DJ career, and talking with a lot of other individuals, was sort of the amount of preparation. So I'm wondering, what are some best practices or principles that you have followed specifically over the years that's allowed you to vault away from the pace of the club industry or being in that environment, and then kind of niching yourself a lot more as a more higher end profile event, private event industry DJ? Like, what are some best practices or principles that you have implemented to kind of catapult you to where you are now?
That's a fantastic question. There's a number of different things and definitely a couple of different ways we can go with this question. But the first thing I would say is you really need to learn to humble yourself. I think that's the biggest thing, especially if you're coming from the club scene to the private event scene. Again, the club scene, you're it. In the wedding or private event scene, not so much. You're an important part of the day, but you're not the thing. So you really need to learn to humble yourself and actually focus a lot on your work, focus a lot on your skill set, focusing a lot on working on your craft, learning how to mix different styles of music, understanding how different styles of music work. And it's really just the big thing that's really gotten me very far is that I treat everybody with respect. I treat everybody with, I'm very courteous with everybody. It sounds cheesy, but I'm just nice. And I literally try to treat people the way I want to be treated. And it sounds so cliche, but people want to work with people they like. And you're going to have to work with these people for a long, long time. And the other thing is you really need to treat every party like it's the biggest party ever. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm doing the TIFF Gala for Meryl Streep and Joaquin Phoenix, or I'm doing a little wedding for 50 people, I treat that audience exactly the same, because they're all just people, and they're there to have a good time.
Right.
One party has some celebrities, that's fantastic. But if it's at a wedding, the bride and groom are the celebrity for the night. So I treat everybody exactly the same, no matter which party I play at. And that's huge. And because I've done things like that, I've landed some huge events.
Right.
I can give you one example. Was many years ago, a wedding planner friend of mine called me up and said, Mike, I'm doing this TV show. It's about people that get to redo big moments in their lives that they screwed up. And she had a wedding where the bride was so intoxicated that she passed out before the first course was served at the meal.
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, exactly. She got the opportunity to redo her wedding for a TV show. And she said, can I just come down and just play the part? I'm like, yeah, that's fine, no problem. It was a favor for a friend of mine. So I did that, and at the end of the night, once they stopped shooting, they still had half hour in the venue. And they said, Mike, you know what, this has been great. Can you just let us have like a kick-ass party for the last half hour? Just go all out. I'm like, yeah, definitely, let's do this. So I went hard. There's maybe 10 people there, the bride, groom, and a couple of their friends. And I killed it for them. And they loved it. They had a fantastic time. 2 weeks later, I get a phone call from an entertainment agent. And she's like, were you the DJ that was at that TV show wedding a few weeks ago? I was like, yeah. She's like, a friend of mine was there, and she said, you're absolutely fantastic. I want to see if I can book you for this event. And I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. So she books me for this very large corporate event, 800 people. Wow. I go in, I do it, and I kill it. I just do my thing, and everybody loved it. And the entertainment agent had a great time. She said it was perfect. And she said, I have another event for you. I'm going to call you in a few weeks. I'm like, okay, fine. Then she calls me and says, will you go to Montreal? Will you be willing to travel to Montreal? And I'm like, yeah, sure, not a problem. That's fine, whatever. And about 2 weeks before the event takes place, now I'm a sports fanatic. I pretty much don't listen to music on the radio. At the time, I only listened to the Fan 590. So
wow.
I'm driving around
sports.
to the Fan 590, and next thing here on the radio, they're talking about the NHL All-Star Game happening in Montreal the same time I'm there. I was like, that's weird.
Oh my gosh.
So I called the agent, and I'm like, by any chance, what am I playing for in Montreal? Like, what is this? She's like, oh, I didn't tell you. You're playing the NHL All-Star Game.
How would she not tell you that?
Oh, thanks for. And this was very early in my career before I started asking questions. I was just happy to get the booking, right? So I'm like, okay, thanks for letting me know. I need a hotel room.
That's hilarious.
But
wow.
I think that's the important thing, that you always have to put your best foot forward. Anytime, it doesn't matter how many people are there, it doesn't matter who is there. You just go into that party, you rock it, and you never know what's going to happen. Because I always tell people, you're only as good as the last party that you did.
Yeah.
I don't care what you did 20 years ago. I don't care what you did 3 months ago. You're only as good as the party you did last weekend. And you have to, every party, every wedding, every event you walk into, you have to go in there with the mindset that you're going to kill it.
Yeah.
And I don't care if I'm killing it for 5 people or I'm killing it for 5,000.
I know.
You have to have that mindset, because you never know who may be there and what may come from that.
It's so true. I've been also told that, yeah, it doesn't matter who's in the room, because if there's one person or 1,000, because their ears are open. And so once you start playing the music, that, as you mentioned, you have to kill it. You have to put your best foot forward and just really give it your best effort. So no,
exactly.
some really great wisdom. Just wanted to acknowledge a couple of people on the outside, guys. Listen, everyone, this is Music is Everything, the podcast. We're here with special event DJ Michael Coombs. I want to hail up Deborah Brown, who I know plans events. Garrick is listening, giving a lot of thumbs up. My boy Sheldon as well, who does some photography and videography, as well as some of my past students. We got Tiana watching and listening. So guys, if you have questions, please don't feel afraid. Throw something in the chat. So yeah, would there be anything else that you feel would be important in terms of best practice? I mean, putting your best foot forward sounds like being humble, being a great person to other people. Anything else that you'd want to add that you think is important there? Yeah, I think what's really important is practice. Okay. It's funny. As a kid growing up, I was a skater boy. Like, I was all about skateboarding, and Tony Hawk was one of the guys I really looked up to. So when I got a little bit older, just a few years ago, I actually came across his autobiography, his book, and I read it. And the one thing that really stuck out to me in that book is, now Tony Hawk is probably the biggest skateboarding personality in the world. He's a multi-millionaire. He owns so many different things with regards to skateboarding, that he's insanely busy. But the one thing that he does every day is he spends 1 hour every day, no matter what, skateboarding, because he realizes that as soon as he steps away from that, he's going to lose the love of it. Everything else is going to take over. So it's about staying in love with what you do. Yeah. Now, do I practice an hour every day? No. Do I practice as often as I can? Definitely. And I do it for a couple of reasons. One, because it brings me back to my love for it. It takes away all the business side of it, and it just allows me to be free
It allows me to fall in love with it all over again. And two, the more you practice, the better you get. And you need to be ready. There's one quote that I always really that I really listen to or read a lot is you never should need to be prepared. You should always be prepared. Something along those lines.
Nice.
But it's about always being ready.
Yeah.
And if you're practicing, you're always ready. So if something was to come up, like for example, if COVID was to end tomorrow and they say parties are back on next week, I'm ready to go.
Right.
I'm set, I'm ready, and I'll go in there and I'll kill it. Did I take some time off due to COVID? Definitely, of course. But I've still been practicing enough that I'm ready to go. If something was to open up tomorrow, I'm good to go.
Right. So no, it sounds like you've been remaining busy. I mean, actually, I've been getting some of your mixes. I listened to the last one that you sent out, the Moonbaton mix. So if you're listening, I know he's going to drop his handle at the end, but at Michael Coombs DJ, and he's got some great mixes up. You can listen. So the last one was very smooth. I enjoyed it actually. So I'm wondering if we can maybe dial the conversation back a little bit when you were talking about being humble. I think that I just would like you to share the story around what happened at Flow, because I think when I first met you, I think this is one of the first things that you talked a lot about in one of your workshops. If you remember, when we first met, was at an event boot camp, so long ago. But I remember some words that came from that seminar as if it was yesterday, and I think being humble was one of them. And I remember at that time you stressed on your slideshow, it was the last bullet point on every slide was follow up, follow up, follow up. I remember that. I'm seeing.
What happened with Flow was I left Worldwide for a little while and got a real job, but I really wasn't happy. Mm-hmm. And again, I graduated with honors from Seneca College for radio and television production, so I was already educated in that. And I got word that they were starting a new urban station. So I said, you know what? I did Worldwide for so long. I've been trained how to do radio, so I said I'm going to give it a shot. So I put together my demo tape, and I sent it in. And I know they had over 600 applications or people apply to get on air, and I made it in the top 4. And they allowed me to choose my time slot. So obviously, because Worldwide, when I left, was a morning show, 6 to 9 on Thursday mornings on 99.5 CIUT. I wanted the morning show on Flow. Mm-hmm. Now, one thing that happened to me as I was going through the club scene and even on Worldwide is my head exploded. Like, I had a huge ego. I pissed off a lot of people. I made a lot of enemies. I was not a nice person. And again, my ego just took control of me. I just said what I wanted to say when I wanted to say it. I didn't take anybody's feelings into account. Ouch. And again, a lot of people didn't like me, and I don't blame them, because when I look back at myself, I wouldn't like me either. Right. And when I landed Flow, that was like the tipping point. That was kind of my off the cliff moment, because my head exploded. Wow. I was so full of myself. It was unhealthy. It was unreal. People didn't want to be around me. And I thought I made it. I literally thought, I'm here, I made it, I'm the big dog, I can do whatever I want, I don't have to practice, I don't have to learn the systems. I'm Michael Coombs, I'm the morning show host on Flow, you kind of bow down. And what happened was, by the time the station actually went to air, I was terrible. It sounded awful. My partner and I were absolutely terrible. And by the end of the week, he was let go. Oh, wow. And they offered me another job at the station to stay on, because they thought that I could still maybe turn things around and come back and be an on-air personality down the line. So they offered me another position. I think it was the assistant music programmer or something along those lines. Right. And doesn't sound very sexy. No, and I did it for a day, and then I pretty much told them to F off. I'm not doing this. You don't know what you're missing. I'm the greatest. And I told them to screw off, and I left. Wow. And what really hit me was, while I was on Flow leading up to that, my phone would ring. I would have it would ring nonstop. I would literally, at the end of the day, I'd have 30 voicemails on my phone. Wow. The day after I left Flow, my phone died. Nobody called me. And that is what really hit me. because I realized that either one, well, I am an asshole, I already knew that, but the people that I was surrounding myself with at the time weren't really my friends, right? And you got to be very careful with who you allow into your circle, who is there to actually support you and who is there just to, but then again, I was a big asshole, so I'm not surprised. I wouldn't call me either, probably, because I was not a nice person to be around. And then everything started hitting me, and I fell into this like really deep depression. I was really, really bad. But the thing that really shook me was 1 month after I left Flow, my first daughter was born.
Okay.
So I went from deep bouts of depression to like euphoria within hours of each other, and it was like I can't even explain it. It was like teeter-tottering. Like 1 minute I'd be like ecstatic holding her in my arms. The next minute I'd turn away to do something and the flow would hit me. And it was just a really weird time for me because, again, I was a father now.
Yeah.
Right? And I panicked. I literally panicked. I sold all my records. I had 2 sets of Tech 12s, mixers. Like, I sold everything.
Wow.
I had a mint pair of black Tech 12s. That was my in-home practice setup.
This hurts just hearing it. It hurts.
Yeah, mint. Like, there was not even a speck of dust on them. They were beautiful. I sold everything. And I was done with DJing. I quit. And I went back to my old real job. I begged them to take me back. And because I left on such good terms, they brought me back, but I lost all my seniority.
Oh, man.
And I was miserable.
So
I was
just
absolutely
like
miserable.
A kick to the nuts of just humble pie. Excuse my language, but just, wow.
Yeah,
sounds like you just
but
totally
the biggest thing is, what I realized, at first I was angry at everybody because I thought it was everybody else's fault. But the longer I had to sit on this, I realized the only person I had to blame was myself. I had to take ownership of this situation because I did it to myself. I pissed all these people off. I cut ties. I was an asshole. I was the biggest, honestly, I was the biggest asshole you probably could ever meet.
Wow.
I'm not even kidding you when I say that. I was a terrible person. And I don't even know, honestly, if my wife wasn't pregnant, she probably would have left me. Truthfully. Wow. I think she would have. Honestly, it's like, damn, I'm stuck with this guy.
Yeah.
I got to keep him around. I can't get rid of him now.
Wow.
Right? But yeah, and that's what happened there. And I literally quit DJing. I retired. So.
And so, wow, there's a lot to kind of unpack there. But yeah, I mean, kind of just going over your bio and then having had conversations with you, I'm kind of getting a better sense of sort of your chronology in terms of how things went. So now you're in this space where sort of you've been, as I called it, tossed around by the waves of life, and you've had to kind of refigure some things out. So how did you decide to, before I get there, I like the piece that you mentioned around sort of the personal responsibility and understanding that where you are is because of yourself. So from kind of jettisoning away from club and then radio and then being semi-retired and then kind of coming out of retirement, what was like your mindset in terms of getting your career back on track and then saying, hey, no more club DJing, no more of this radio type DJing, I'm just going to focus on this? Like, could you walk me maybe through like what was going through your mind? Like, how did you sharpen your focus to just be so like, this is what I'm doing now?
Funny enough, that's a story on its own. What happened was, like I said, I retired. I was done DJing. I sold everything. I was like done. I was doing my corporate job, my real job. And this would have been probably in October or November. My fiance, she saw how miserable I was, and we were about to get married. And we're getting married at the end of December, I believe it was. So we're at the venue, ready to sign the contract to book our space. So I remember this like it was yesterday. The venue coordinator slides the contract across the table. She's like, all you got to do is sign here, here, and here. And my wife says, she kind of pushes it back to her, and she says, hold on a second. I looked at your vendor list here, and I noticed that you don't have any DJs on your vendor list. He's a DJ. If you want me to sign this right now, you have to make him the DJ on your vendor list. And I looked at her like, what the hell is she doing? I don't DJ anymore. It's like, what is this woman doing? Is she mad? I retired. And the funny thing is, the woman looked at her and said, oh, is it any good? Sure, why not? We'll put you on the list. And I looked at her like, what is happening here?
Yay, Marsha. Yay, Marsha.
Yeah, exactly. Right? I'm like, this is insane. This is insanity. And a couple of months later, I was DJing at this venue, weddings on a regular basis.
Wow.
And I was actually making a little bit of money at it, and I was enjoying it. I'm like, maybe I need to go back to this. I kind of felt like there was something missing, because music and DJing has been a part of my life for such a long time. To not have it involved or not be involved in it in some degree, it was hard.
Mm-hmm.
And once I started DJing these weddings, it kind of like lit a spark again. And I said, this is something I should probably see what we can do with it, make it go.
Right. No, that's awesome. And then, obviously you started off with Prodigy Entertainment, and then obviously moving into a branding in of yourself. I'm wondering if you could talk to us a little bit about some of the things that you do, I guess, within the industry. I guess if we're sort of looking at, maybe up and coming DJs or DJs that are listening right now and they want to kind of take things up a notch. So could you talk to us a little bit about the CPD DJA or DJ Association? Could you talk to us a little bit about what that is, and maybe talk to us a little bit about some of the value add things that are kind of attached to you, and maybe how you went about doing that or why you went about doing that?
That's a lot of questions.
I know. There's an A, B, C. I'm coming at you like Rocky. Just got you in the corner with a flurry of punches here.
Okay. First off, so for people, new DJs that are trying to make their way, like I said, when I got back into DJing weddings, I still had a corporate job. I still had a real job. And yes, I was able to get the venue that was referring me. It was a small little hotel, nothing crazy, nothing really fancy, but they had a wedding every Saturday night, and I was pretty much there every Saturday night, which was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But what I also started doing was, because I was working at Telus Mobility at the time.
Okay.
And there was like 2,000 to 3,000 people in the building. It was crazy. So I started networking throughout the building. And whenever I found out somebody was engaged or getting married, I would kindly introduce myself to them or have somebody introduce me to them. So I started working the network in my own office to start getting events. So between working at my corporate job and having the hotel, I was starting to get like a good flow of business starting to come through. And what else I found out was there was actually a course called the Wedding Planners Institute of Canada. They had a wedding certificate course. So I looked into that, and I realized that there was no DJ in the country that had the certification. Now, I did not want to be a wedding planner, but I really wanted to separate myself. So I took the class and became the first DJ in the country, in all of Canada, to become a certified wedding planner. And they've had hundreds since I got it, but I was the first one, and I think I was the first one for like 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
And I used that opportunity to network with all those up-and-coming planners to get business, and that's how things really, really began to develop.
And if you could just sorry, Mike, just to pause quickly, if you could tell us a little bit, for people who don't know, like what the wedding planners, like sort of what does that mean for an event professional? If you just briefly just let us know what it is.
Well, a wedding planner is the same as an event planner, or their job is to organize the event and kind of bring all the pieces together. Mm-hmm. They're like the glue almost that holds the whole event together.
Yeah.
So that's primarily what they do. So I just started connecting with them. And again, it takes time. This happened over a 4 or 5 year period. And it's a process. It takes time. You have to have a lot of patience, because it's not going to happen overnight. You just got to keep putting in your work and just doing your thing, and just stick with your goals.
Mm-hmm.
And know where you are and know where you want to be. With regards to the DJ Association, I was the president of the Canadian Professional DJ Association. I was for 1 year. I don't exactly remember the year off the top of my head, but I took that because I wanted to help the DJ industry grow. I really took it out of that moment, and also probably a little bit for ego, because as much as I humbled myself, I still had a little bit of that in me, and it's still in me to this day. It's something that I can't completely get rid of, and I think it may be a part of me, like the part of the ego part, but I've just learned how to control it better.
Yeah.
Because in order to get to a certain level, you have to have some type of ego. You can't.
Yeah.
You can still be humble, but you still have to have enough confidence in yourself that, like, every party I walk into, I know I'm going to kill it.
Yeah.
And some people will say that's ego. Some people will say that's conceit. I'm like, no, I've just done this for so long, and I know when to walk into a party. I've done so much research about that party and about that client that I'm going to kill it. And that's just my mentality. That's my mindset, and that's what I do. But really, with regards to the association, it was just a place for DJs to network and talk about the industry and talk about difficulties they have. It's a great place to get licensing and insurance and things along those lines. So
right. So no, I appreciate you sharing all those things, and I would second that notion. Is that I hear this a lot. This is off topic, but on topic. You hear a lot of people talk about certain sports figures and saying that because they don't appear to be cocky, that they're not cocky, or that because they don't appear to be arrogant, they're not arrogant. And maybe they're not, but as you mentioned, having that killer level of confidence is so key to perform at a high level. Again, for those of you who are just joining us, Music is Everything podcast, we're here with Michael Coombs, who is a special event industry, 3 times Canadian DJ of the Year. He specializes in the private event industry, doing a lot of galas and high-profile events. And I think that you made a very, very important comment, which is sort of the preparation, right? And really just being able to kind of come into any situation and just guns blazing, be able to do whatever it is that you need to be doing because you've taken that time in terms of the prep work and researching the client and understanding your music and asking all the questions. A quick aside, then I'm going to ask you a question. I know Garrick is on right now. I'm seeing he's acknowledging a couple of comments here, also thumbs up around the Whippic and stuff. But talking with Garrick, he always says, do your research and ask the probing questions. He was a guest on about 3 weeks ago, and that's something that I've learned from him, is to really be very meticulous with the types of questions you're asking. So when you walk into a space or venue, they don't say, "Hey, it's just a small wedding," and then you're thinking, okay, like maybe it's 50 people. But then you walk in, and depending on the culture or depending on the venue, you find out that a small wedding is actually 500 people, which for some cultures in Toronto, that is sort of a small number. So just really being prepared and ready for the task at hand, right? So you covered over, I think, a lot of really great points in regards to that, right? So,
nice. And big shout out to Garrick the DJ. What's going on?
He's giving thumbs up on the Facebook here. So no, that's awesome. Well, I mean, you've covered over a lot of things, talking about networking, kind of leveraging your current space. It sounds like, I guess, in terms of getting some other courses. Is this something that you think that for already established DJs or newer DJs that this would be a helpful route for them to go down, is taking some type of course either through Whippic or some other type of medium to get a little bit more educated?
Yeah, you know what? I'm all for education. I would think the first thing I would suggest if people are really looking to get educated and do more is I would probably start with a Toastmasters course. Toastmasters is a public speaking course, because as a DJ, you do spend a lot of time on the microphone at weddings or private events typically, and you need to be able to control the crowd. You need to be able to address the audience in a way that they'll listen to you and they'll respect you when you're on the microphone. So I'd probably start looking at Toastmasters. Again, because of everything happening right now, I don't know when Toastmasters, if they're even operating right now. An improv class through Second City is phenomenal once those open back up. And there are so many books out there to read. I would just start reading. Read anything you can get your hands on. Start with Seth Godin. That's great from marketing perspective. It's just, there's so many people out there. Just start reading books. That's the big thing. Right.
No, that's awesome. So we're coming up to the top of the hour. We will spend a little bit extra time after the sort of commercial break at the top of the hour. But maybe, I'm wondering where I can go with this with the time that we have. So I guess maybe just chatting a little bit about your process. Maybe we'll end on this and we'll get to some other juicy stuff after the break. But maybe could you describe to us sort of what's your process in terms of going into an event? Like how do you prepare?
That's a great question. You try and get me to tell all my secrets, are you?
Well, don't give all of them away, but just a few nuggets.
Essence, in a nutshell, I always send my couples a questionnaire leading up to the wedding, asking them a variety of questions, like what styles of music they're into, things along those lines. It gets a lot more detail on that, but it's really about finding out about who they are, what they're all about. Typically about 6 to 8 weeks before the wedding, we'll sit down face-to-face, one-on-one, and we'll go through that questionnaire in full detail. I'll then take all that information and condense it down into a document that I use the day of to kind of guide me through the whole process. Plus, I'll talk on the phone with them a couple times after the meeting leading up to the wedding, just to make sure we're on the same page and have a full understanding of what they're all about.
Right.
And then on their wedding day, we have a game plan in place. We know exactly.
Mike, sorry, I'm going to just get you to pause. In less than 10 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have Michael Coombs back at the top of the hour. Just hang on the line and mute yourself. We'll have a 5-minute commercial break. Hold on.
This is Jamie Sparks, and you're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you live.
This is Jermaine Robbins, and you're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio.
Yo, this is Kiana O'Quinn, and you're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio.
This is Lavinia J from the UK, and you're listening to iLive Radio.
Hey, what's going on, everybody in cyberspace? This is the Groove Show with your boy, the crowd pleaser, DJ Mark Anthony. Don't forget, each and every Saturday afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m., we want to put you in the mood for whatever the night has in store. I'm playing only the best feel-good party rocking, body-shaking music from funk to soul to reggae to R&B, house to salsa, and much, much more. We call it The Groove each and every Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. Keep it locked. It's the crowd pleaser, baby. You know how we do. We'll see you on the air. Peace.
Hey. Hello and welcome. It's your girl Claude, aka Miss Out, right here on iLive UK. Be sure to tune into my shows each and every Saturday between the hours of 6 and 8 p.m. My shows are called The Independent Injection because you can expect to hear deep and meaningful, fresh neo and bassline soul, slow jams and gospel mixed with a little bit of nostalgia. I look forward to seeing you then. Bye.
Attention, all musicians, bands, associations, clubs, and organizations that represent urban styles of music across Canada. Now is the time to rebuild our urban music nation. All urban music followers under one umbrella. Urban Music Nation is a non-profit organization committed to the development of urban music. Free memberships are available now. urbanmusicnation.ca. Urban Music. One voice. Strength in unity.
Hi, my name is Derek Roach from Level 2 Music Productions in Toronto. I've recently got together with some great Toronto musicians to create a dedication track called How About a Round of Applause for our Toronto and Ontario Hospital frontline workers. For this, we say thank you. We also created a fundraiser page to help raise money for PPE masks desperately needed. To donate to this fundraiser, please go to Facebook and type in the heading, How About a Round of Applause, PPE medical fundraiser, and donate what you can. For the song, you can go to YouTube and type in, How About a Round of Applause - for Canada's frontline workers. We thank our sponsors, Harris Institute, Personas, Audio-Technica, and Rob Papin Virtual Synth Software for your support. Big thanks to you in advance, and Jason Henry from iLive Radio for supporting us for this worthy cause.
You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. Music is Everything podcast. We're at the top of the hour. Your host, DJ Elegance. We have with us this evening Michael Coombs, special event and profile DJ. He is the 3-time Canadian Wedding DJ of the Year. He's done the All-Star Game. He's DJ'd alongside Cedric the Entertainer and DJ'd several celebrity parties from Wyclef Jean to... the laundry list is long. Shaggy, Busta Rhymes, and also had a very extensive background in the Toronto radio and DJ scene. He's sharing with us some tips, secrets, and some of his successes and failures on how he's transitioned to move into the private event industry. Michael, you're still there with us?
Yes, I am. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. So I got a couple quick questions I'll ask you, and we'll end off with a segment called Rapid Fire that I like to finish off with. So I know that you were just at the top of the hour. I had to kind of cut you off there as they say, pay some bills. But I know you had mentioned a little bit about the prep work going into working with a client, and I'm wondering if I can maybe lightly transition you into, the dreaded situation that almost every wedding event professional has, and that is, the question is, have you ever worked with a bridezilla? And if so, how did you manage that situation?
Definitely. Now, you have kids, so you'll probably get this reference, but have you ever seen the movie Madagascar?
Yeah. Several times. Several times.
And you know what the main tagline is of the Penguins of Madagascar, correct? You just smile and wave, boys. Just smile and wave.
Okay,
That's
yes.
all you have to do.
Yes.
You literally you listen to them and you smile and you say, yes, we can do that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, we'll do that. Yes.
Wow.
And then you just make it happen. That's my best advice, is just enjoy the moment, take it in. You have to realize there's a lot of pressure on them. This is the biggest day of their lives. This is the biggest party that they'll ever throw. There's huge emotional attachment. There's huge financial attachment. There are people pushing and pulling them from all sides. It's usually, if they're in that state as a bridezilla, they're not in their best state. So they literally just don't add anything to the pile. Just, again, smile and wave and just make it happen.
Nice. It's a great analogy. Kind of talking a little bit about the industry. Obviously, part of this is sharing stories and best practices, but I also like to give people a little bit of a behind the scenes thing. So, I'm curious, with every profession, there's obviously things that we love. I know for myself, there's some aspects of the business side of things that drive me a little bit crazy, but I obviously love to play and perform. But for yourself, what is one thing that drives you nuts, sort of about the wedding scene, or even maybe just DJing a party?
I think the main thing that jumps out to me is you could be sitting there, you could have, say it's a 200-person event, you have 199 people on the dance floor having a great time, just getting into it, and there's that one person that comes up and says, nobody's dancing, this sucks, your music sucks, change it. And I look at them, are you kidding me? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? And it's always that one person, and they will just drive you absolutely nuts. And there's really nothing you can do about them, but you just ignore them and you just keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
My thing is, requests are probably one of the worst things that happen at weddings, because typically they happen after people have had a few too many drinks and they think they know what they're doing, and they always ask for the worst songs, and it's typically like, yeah, I'll see what I could do. But
No, but Mike, you don't understand. This song will get everyone going. It will get everyone. It'll turn this place crazy.
Yeah, I've heard that numerous times, and they always tell me that, and the place is already crazy. So
right,
yeah, it is what it is. That's one of the things you have to deal with regards to this job. So
for sure. So I'm, kind of thinking about now. I mean, obviously hearing a little bit about what you've been doing sort of during COVID. I'm curious, have you done any live streaming at all? I know you've been doing mixes actively, but have you entertained the idea of doing any live DJing on any one of these different platforms? Is that something that you have done, want to do, or no interest?
At this time, well, I'll put it this way. I haven't cut my hair since March. So
yes, I remember you told me.
I'm using this time to kind of try out a number of different new hairstyles.
Nice.
And it's just something I really don't want to share with the public at the moment. So, no, I will not be doing live streaming. It's not my thing at the moment. Will I do it down the line? Possibly. But until I shave and find a hairstyle that I like, I will not be doing any live streaming. So.
Okay, fair enough. Well, we can get a green screen, but in front of your face, so then we can
yeah,
we can have the
defeat the purpose.
We can have the pre-COVID Mike Coombs. So I guess I'm just
everybody really wants to see me looking at my phone, reading everybody else's comments while DJing.
I know.
That always excites me.
I know. I've been doing it myself for a while on Facebook and IG. I'm on Twitch now, but yeah, it's very different, So I'm curious for yourself then. I mean, right now you've done TIFF events, right? Which is very high on the rung for DJs, and you've done the NHL All-Star Game and a lot of other really high-profile events. Obviously, having conversations with you, knowing that you're doing a variety of DJ gigs in very A-list places. I'm curious for yourself, sort of like what other types of events do you envision doing, or would you like to do?
You know, that's a great question. I think at this point in my career, I'm not even sure. I really don't think about it like that. I've been so blessed to have, and I'm so thankful that I've had the opportunity to do so many wonderful events and play so many different places for different people. And I really don't have anything left on the DJ to-do list, really. So,
Awesome. I just had a question come in from the outside. I guess two questions. One was,
sure,
how do you stay up to date on current music? Where do you look for new stuff?
Yeah, I'm on Billboard magazine's email list.
Okay.
So that's how I kind of stay up to date, because they send emails out daily with different articles. I kind of watch those charts, but I also listen to the radio while driving or while around. I listen to what my kids are listening to. I talk to them a lot and just get a good feel for what's coming out and things along those lines. Plus, I'm part of a number of different DJ pools, DJ City, my MP3 pool, and direct music service. I'm a bit of a music junkie, so I'm part of a number of different pools.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot.
It's not the cheapest thing, but
I know. I was on DMS before.
Yeah, I find for me it works. I follow those charts, and there's just so many different ways. You can follow the Spotify charts. There's so many different ways just to kind of keep track and keep a feel for what's out there. But again, the main thing, I get a lot of the music from just my clients, asking them what they like, what they're into, and that's how I get a lot of it as well, right? So there's so many different avenues. There's no reason why you shouldn't really be up to date.
Yeah.
And now there's all the TikTok songs and things along those lines coming out as well. So it's
it's great to have. For myself, I mean, working with young people, I do my music and leadership program in high schools, and a lot of times I ask the youth to write down artists or names of songs that they are feeling so that we can have it playing when they come in the room. And that's also a way for me to sort of sponge off of them a little bit to get up and coming tracks. So this will lead me into my part 2 question, which was, what are your top 3 wedding songs that probably you may enjoy playing at a wedding?
Top 3?
Yeah.
Jeez, that's a great question. I don't, because every wedding is different, and that's my main thing. Every wedding is different, but the songs I enjoy playing the most, or I'd say get the most reaction across the board, so it doesn't matter what the background is, just what people kind of get into. I'd say Icona Pop, I love it. It's a huge one.
Okay.
In the Club, 50 Cent always works.
Okay.
And what else? Hold You by Egyptian.
Okay. I'm glad that you gave us those tracks. I might have thought that you may have said an MJ song, because I know that's as an artist, it's obviously with all the recent stuff that's come out, it's kind of touch and go with that a little bit, but those are some really good tracks, very energetic, and I found that songs that get either a reaction or get people to sing along are always great tracks to play. So thank you for that. So Mike, I appreciate you coming on. We're gonna kind of end off on this last segment, which I call the rapid fire segment. I'm simply gonna ask you a bunch of questions, and I just want you to not think about it too much. Just simply give me literally the first response that kind of comes in your mind or your heart. So,
Sure.
What is your favorite restaurant to eat at?
Oh, geez. Since COVID's been going on, I don't really remember the last time I've gone to a restaurant, but I'd say we have gone up to, just for a day trip, I've driven up to Weber's Burgers, which is famous for it's burgers on the way up to Cottage Country. We don't have a cottage, but we just drive up there to get the burgers.
Okay. I think I've heard of them.
Members Burgers.
They have like that overpass, so no matter what side of the highway you're on, you can walk over, right? Yeah, that's big time. I know Weber's. Excuse me. What is just one past nightclub that you miss playing at?
Power Bar on Friday nights.
Power Bar Friday nights, okay.
Yeah. We get like anywhere between 600 to 800 people there, and it was crazy. It was myself and DJ Sin and DJ Cyrus Sanchez.
Okay.
And DJ Blue. It was always phenomenal. It was a great time. And what I loved most about the nightclub scene, and for a lot of people out there listening, especially people getting into the industry, I find if you can get yourself a residency, it will change your career. Because if you get to play somewhere every week, and some weeks you'll get 5 people, other weeks you'll get 20, other weeks you'll get 200, but just the consistency and just paying your dues and just going into the club and just playing your heart out every night for weeks and months at a time, it makes such a huge difference in your career.
Right.
So if you can get a residency anywhere, especially for people coming up, definitely do your best to get it and hold on to it.
Awesome. No, that's great advice. A few more questions. I appreciate you sharing that. Would you rather be famous or the friend of someone famous?
Oh, I'd rather be famous. You get that. I don't want to be part of the entourage. I want to be the guy.
There you go. So this is more of a personal question because I know we've had some conversations like offline. I guess I believe I'm correct on this, but knowing that you used to coach your daughters in basketball, who is your favorite basketball player of all time?
Michael Jordan, hands down.
Michael Jordan. Okay. Did you watch The Last Dance?
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
I watched The Last Dance, and I also read his trainer Tim Grover's book too. And Michael Jordan. No one can touch Michael Jordan. But I will admit, though, after reading his trainer Tim Grover's book and also reading The Mamba Mentality, I would have to say Kobe Bryant's a close second.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't really understand or really was a Kobe fan, but once I kind of started researching him, once he passed, and I was like, wow, I get it now. I get it. So
okay.
I shouldn't say a close second. He's a second, but he's not a close second.
Okay, fair enough. You're on a deserted island. You're left with Technique 1200s, CDJs, or a controller. Which one do you choose?
I'm a record box guy.
Okay.
So I would not use the Tech 12s because the vinyl would melt in the sun. The computer would go downhill, so I wouldn't use any CDJs. And I'd have my Pioneer XDJ RX2, the record box version, and just playing off my USB key for days at a time.
All right, there you go. I may have asked you that. So maybe I'll give you a second swing at it again. Which event would you love to still play at? Or if there was like a certain audience. I know you said that you've achieved a lot of things, but is there a certain type of a concert or maybe a festival that you would love to get a call and say, hey, Mike, we want you to DJ for ba-dum. Like, what might that be if you were to fill in that blank?
Geez, I don't know. That's a great question. I've been so blessed. I'm so thankful for everything that I've had. I don't have one. I really don't have one. I'm like, if I was to end my DJ career as of this moment, I would have no regrets. No regrets. I've done everything that I ever would think I ever would want to do, or ever thought would be possible. So I'd be happy. I'd be like, I'm good.
That's awesome. So this is, I guess, more of like maybe me a personal question then, because you're kind of taught like goals. So I guess my overall question for you then would be, if there's nothing sort of like, I want to do this one last thing. We had DJ J online last week, and he said, I'd love to do a Boiler Room set, right? Or Coachella or something like that. So I guess my question for you then is, what continues to drive you at this moment right now with your DJ career? If there's not sort of like this bucket list thing that's out there for you, what continues to drive you?
Making people dance, making people smile. And that's the big thing. Just specifically for like a wedding or any big event, it's just, one, knowing that they chose you. Like when I look at the TIFF Gala for Meryl Streep and Joaquin Phoenix, they chose me. They had a bunch of other DJs they could have had, but I was the one they said, it's yours. Or when a couple books me for the wedding, in Toronto, there's hundreds and hundreds of DJs, but they look at all these DJs and they look at me and say, not only will we book you, but we're paying a premium price to have you.
Right.
Right. Because I'm typically 3 to 4 times more than the average DJ in the city.
Yeah.
So just knowing that drives me. Just know that they chose me to be part of one of the biggest days of their lives, the biggest event that they'll ever throw. That excites me. That keeps me going. So
no, I think that's an awesome mindset. I really appreciate you sharing that, because I think when you had iterated earlier the difference between a club DJ moving into the private event industry and understanding really what's at stake. I mean, obviously for TIFF or for NHL All-Star Game, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars of production and preparation going into an event. So I think to kind of have that mindset shift, as you've so eloquently shared, I think is an amazing attitude to have. So I really appreciate you sharing that. I think it really kind of, encapsulates like the mentality that I think a lot of mobile DJs should have and also be proud of having in terms of really catering to the audience. So I really appreciate you sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of done here. I guess I'll ask you 2 last questions.
Sure.
Any final thoughts on maybe any of the things that we covered over? Maybe, one last gem of encouragement, wisdom giving. Was there anything else that maybe was on your mind that you wanted to share with our audience?
Yeah, definitely. Especially for like the DJs coming up, people often ask me what they should work on, and I'm very big on focus on the art form, learn how to DJ properly. Just because 2 songs are the same BPM doesn't mean they go together. Understand how to count bars, understand how to count beats, understand just the art form of it. Like, learn to be creative with it. So many people think DJing is not a real job or DJing is not real creativity, but we are no different than a floral designer, for example. A floral designer will take flowers and vases and all this architecture and kind of put it together to create something new. Well, the DJ does the exact same thing.
Right.
The DJ takes other people's songs and we blend them and we format them together to create a sense of excitement and a sense of euphoria on the dance floor, to make people scream, to make people throw their hands in the air, to make people drop to the floor and just get nuts. That's creativity. And the biggest thing a lot of people don't realize, especially with regards to being a DJ, if you're a true DJ, it's like we live in the moment for the whole evening. It doesn't matter how long you practice, but what we do is pure improv.
Yeah.
Everything we do is improv. And like a great improv artists, they spend hours and hours and hours honing their craft. So then when they get on the stage, they kind of have a feel for what they're going to do, but at the same time, they're ready for whatever the audience throws at them. And that's the same thing a DJ does. We prepare and we mix these songs, and we practice them at home, but at the same time, if it comes to that point at the party and it doesn't work, we got to go with the crowd, and we just got to go in a different direction. We got to go in a different song, different genre. So it's really about understanding and learning the art form and actually having respect for it.
Right.
It's so much more than just kind of slamming a couple of songs together because they're the same BPM and it sounds like crap, but nobody really cares. You should take pride in what you do and take pride in the art form that it is. So
yeah, no, I think that's an amazing thing. I mean, it's something that I've shared with people when I book them. Is they say, "Oh, how much are the lights and how much are this?" And I say, "Listen, like we can talk about all those things, but after." And I mean, I think this is something you've shared with me, Garrick, lots of other DJs. Is just that after that first wow factor of staring at the lights, I mean, it's really the skill set of the DJ that's really going to carry the narrative. Yeah, the skill set of the DJ is what's going to carry the evening, right? And so, yeah, I've learned that from yourself and a lot of other DJs. But yeah, I appreciate.
Well, that's the thing, because we're creating we're creating an experience,
right?
Like lighting and all that. That's just added stuff. That's really just stuff. It's great stuff. But the lighting isn't going to change the emotion of the room enough to make it worthwhile.
No, absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank Michael Coombs for coming on, special event and profile DJ, sharing his successes, failures, his path in the high-end profile event scene, wedding industry scene, and some of the things that he's done to create a bit of a niche element for himself. And we really appreciate you sharing a lot of gems of knowledge. I'm just looking over here at Garrick leaving some comments talking about, I guess, being sort of that DJ brotherhood, thanking you for your Invictus Games referral and doing some stuff there. So he's giving some thumbs up on my Facebook here. And something I've shared with just in general is just, as a DJ, you should have 5 other DJs in your Rolodex so that if you have some kind of an issue with something equipment or you need to reach out to somebody for something, that you have people in your Rolodex. And I know Garrick is one of those guys in my Rolodex. You're one of those guys in my Rolodex. I know we've chatted many times, and I really appreciate what you've done and coming on here this evening. Before I end off, the last question is, where can people sort of follow you, learn more about you? Where can they get in contact with you if they want to reach out to you?
Yeah, definitely. The best spot would be my website, which is michaelcoombs.ca. So it's MICHAELCOO, M as in Michael, B as in Bob, S as in Sam.ca. And my Instagram is at michaelcoombsdj. So there you go.
Awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. michaelcoombs.ca and at michaelcoombsdj on IG. Listen, my man, I thank you so much for coming on the Music is Everything podcast, sharing all your wisdom, your knowledge, and really helping us to get a little bit more of a, bird's eye view, a different sort of lay of the land in terms of what a DJ actually brings to the table, and sharing that within some of the stories and some of the things that you've had happen to you over the years. So I really appreciate you coming on the podcast. And I look forward to catching up with you again on the outside.
Well, definitely. Thanks again for having me. Have a great night.
All right. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank Mike for coming on right now. We're going to get into some music to round us out till the top of the hour. We are going to start off with this new track that I played at the beginning of the podcast, which is a track by Her. And it is called Do To Me. And now we're going to open some things up. If you guys are watching on Facebook or you want to text me, drop some song requests. We're going to kind of smooth things out with some new R&B, some old R&B, some soul, and we're going to vibe out and enjoy ourselves. So here we go with a new song by Her called Do To Me.
You do to me, way past infatuation, this connection that we made, and babe, keeping me up till late, it's only 'cause I can't wait till you come to my place. This ain't right, baby, let me be wrong, oh my mind, my favorite song. Promise me you won't leave me alone. No. Cause all the things you do to me, yeah. All the things you do to me, yeah. I love the way you touch me, hold me, make me wanna sing. Drive me crazy with everything you do to me, do to me. So blind, just looking in your eyes, you took my soul for a ride. How you make me fall down, tripping over the sound of you loving me so loud. This ain't right, baby, let me be wrong. Oh my mind, like my favorite song. Promise me you won't leave to me, do to me, do to me, do to me, yeah. I love the way you touch me, hold me, make me wanna sing. Drive me crazy with everything. Yeah. Do to me, do to me, do to me, do to me, yeah. Bum, bum, lead on, bum, bum. Not like you, where'd you come from? Got me hooked, I can't get enough. Oh, bum, 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 lead on, bum, bum. Not like you, where'd you come from? Got me hooked on your love, love.
Boy, you know what the boys tell them about me. Oh, can them love you? Yeah, man. Come see me. You don't know, say. A bad man. Yeah? What is that about you? Yes, I'm a bad
On the crosstown with the top down, sound banging out the back. Alright, here's a shorty to be. She's flashing me thighs, wind blowing through her hair. Baby, we can take it there, take it there. But first I gotta make my right. Baby, slow down. My crib's on the other side of town. But from the look in her eyes, she was hypnotized. Rubbed her hands on my chest and started getting undressed. Tell me why, baby.
Break it down when you see me looking dip. Or could it be the ice you see? But you tell me that you really
got you feeling me, feeling me, feeling me, baby. So tight, why you just can't stop.
I'm thinking that it's all about
me. 60-inch flat TV, what satellite DVD, whatever you need. I got the bubbles in the tub with the back up. 6 sheets laid.
We in the mix, we in the mix.
Oh, girl, I wanna hit it in the worst way. After that, you'll be coming back like every day. Oh, yeah. Send me back to your girls with something else to say. How I split, had you wait till the good days mine.
Break it down when you see me looking dip. Or could it be the ice you see? But you tell me that you really didn't.
I gotta know right now. I told you that I got it on lock. So tight, so tight. Tell me why you just can't stop.
I'm thinking that it's all about me. What could it be?
We in the mix.
You want it, I can tell just by the way you push it out and flown it, you bad. Something like Dirty Diana, body dope as Sarah, the sex is hard to handle. Your ex couldn't beat it, I hit it like a free throw. And since I lost some weight, you say I got a big ego. It's too strong, you said your drive stick, well baby just peel off. Loving how it lasts long, leave the sheets gushy. You with the mask on, Halloween proof. Your body shivers and trembles with each and every stroke. Wetter than ever, enough to sink a boat.
Don't you be holding back. Don't you be holding back. Your love, don't you be holding back. 'Cause in the end, girl, you're gonna want another round. Another round. Another round. You're gonna want another round.
This shit was all I knew. You and me only. I did it all for you. Still you were lonely. We could've worked it out.
But I guess things change. It's funny how someone else's success brings pain. When you're no longer involved, that person has it all, and you just stuck standing there. But
I'm gonna need you to say something.
something, baby. Say something, baby. Say something, baby. Say something. I'm gonna need you to say something, baby. I'm gonna need you to say something, baby. I am the topic of conversation. It's a celebration. Let's toast to the fact that I moved out my mama's basement to a condo downtown, cause it's all about location. I sit and drink wine and watch Californication of life. You should have been here to kick it with me. We could have split this whole thing up 50-50. But now I'm at the 40-40 getting bitches tipsy, killing shit that ever so talented, Mr. Ripley. How I go from being a man that you argue with to me and Dwayne Carter putting out the hardest shit. I should wanna go back to the one I started with, but I'm addicted to this life, it's gonna be hard to quit. Yeah, just ask me how things are coming along. You could tell me that you never heard none of my songs, long as you end up saying one day you plan to listen. Cause what's a star when its most important fan is missing? All I knew, you and me only. And I did it all for you, still you were lonely. We could've worked it out. But I guess things change. It's funny how someone else's success brings pain. You're no longer involved. That person has it all, and you just stuck standing there. But I'm gonna need you to say something, say something.
It's my heartbeat. Ice cold, it's the champagne, Charmaine keeps spilling on me. DJ playing all these love songs like I really need that. And I'm about to get so messed up like I really need that. Someone remind me. Is this a party or what? 'Cause I've been here for much too long. I don't really wanna dance, and I hate most of these songs. Plus, my feet are killing me. I don't really wanna dance. Should've stayed at home. Ooh.
Let's go.
Boy meets girl, girl perfect woman. Girl get the bustin' from the cops, come running up. Chuck the deuces,
Be live in the mix, iLive Radio. Let's go.
say, boys the blues say,
I don't care if we on the run, baby, long as I'm next to you. And if loving you is a crime, tell me why I bring out the best in you. I hear sirens while we make love, loud as hell, but they don't know. Nowhere near us. I will hold your heart and your gun. I don't care if they come. No. I know it's crazy, but they can take. Now that I found the place that you take me. Without you, I got nothing to
I'm an outlaw, got an outlaw chick. Bumping Tupac on my outlaw hish. Matching taxes, ink don't come off, even if rings come off and things ring off. My nails get dirty, my past ain't pretty. My lady is, my Mercedes is. My baby mama harder than a lot of you niggas. Keep it 100, hit the lottery, nigga. You ain't about that life and got a lot of me, nigga. You know it's to the death, I hope it's I be the nigga. Cross the line, speak about mine, I'ma wave this tech. I'm a geek about mine, touch a nigga where it's rib back. I click clack, put your motherfucking wig back. I did that, I've been wildin' since juvie. She was a good girl till she knew me. Now she's in the drop, bustin' you, we screaming.
Now that I found the place that you take. Without you, I got.
You feel the vibe is contagious. Look in your eyes, it's dangerous. Grateful I had all the patience. I know
taking pictures, know your angles. Ooh, no, we ain't perfect, but we them close. Ooh, you give me something I can pay for. No angel.
iLive Radio, let's go.
When it's nights like this, I really wanna be right here. I really wanna take you there. When it's nights like this, I really wanna be right here. I really wanna take you there.
It was nights like this, feeling right like this. I never really spent no time like this, huh? Your second time at the crib, knowing I might not hit. You said what I look like my chick, yeah. Looking in your eyes, this dangerous. You got that wet, color angel dust. I done put so many diamond chains on you, they get tangled up. I never felt like this is strangers, Got your ex hit a calling, but he can't do much. Cause you with the kid now, LMA booed up. And all you gotta do is call and watch that Ray pull up. Under the stars, since they throwing all the shade on us. Facts.
You feel the vibe is contagious. Look in your eyes, it's dangerous. Grateful I had all the patience.
This is how we do on iLive Radio.
You taking pictures, know your angles.
We going new and old, and everything in between.
Roxanne, all she wanna do is party all night. Goddamn, Roxanne, never gonna love me, but it's alright. She think I'm a player. She keep running back though, only cause I pay her. Roxanne, all she wanna do is party all night. Met her at a party in the hills, yeah. She just wanna do it for the thrill, yeah. Shorty drive a poodle with no top. But if I throw this money, she gon' drop. Ay. She don't wait in lines if it's too long. She don't drive the whip unless the roof fall. Only wanna call when the cash out. Only take the pic when it's down. She from Malibu, Malibu. If you ain't got a foreign, then she laugh at you. Malibu, Malibu. Spending daddy's money with an attitude. Roxanne. All she wanna do is party all night. Goddamn, Roxanne. Never gonna love me, but it's alright. She think I'm a player. She keep running back though, only cause I pay her. Roxanne. All she wanna do is party all night.
I say the same thing. You playing games, man. If I had it my way, we be walking all day.
We in the mix, iLive Radio. Music is Everything podcast.
Oh no, you gotta give it back. In the mirror from the back. Oh no. Sometimes I wish that I never was your lady. Sometimes I wish that I never let you taste me. You fold under pressure, get your shit together. You wanna do better, you gotta do better. You want me to settle, you gotta do better, babe. If it ain't me that you want, if it ain't me that you want, boy, that's cool. If you wanna leave right now, you ain't gotta be locked down. Go do you.
Party hard, party hard, party hard. I'm gone. Party hard, party hard, party hard.
We live in the mix, iLive Radio.
Party hard, party hard, party hard for me when I'm gone.
DJ Elegance.
Party hard for me. Party hard for me. Party hard, party hard, party hard for me when I'm gone. Party hard for me. Party hard. Yeah. Blue cups only. Call up all the homies. You could come too even if you didn't know me. It's a celebration. I finally made it. Time to get wasted. Go ahead, get faded. Yeah. Go ahead, pour that sake. Right in front of Sanchez. I'm up here chillin' with Miyagi. Got my grandpa Teddy right here beside me. Yeah, party hard, party hard, party hard for me when I'm gone. Party for me. Party hard, party hard, party hard for me. Yeah. Party hard, party hard, party hard for me when I'm gone. I really need you to party hard, party hard, party hard for me. Yeah, it's a party on the boat. for your girl in commemoration. Look, I'ma need y'all dancing. And when you cry, don't stop crying till you laughing. Yeah, I'ma need a bonfire on the beach. I'ma need everybody there to make a speech. Shut down the block and have a party in the streets. And keep partying for weeks. Then go to Simply Wholesome for a feast. Keep it going just for me. Peace. Party hard, party hard, party hard for me when I'm gone. Party hard, party hard, party hard for me. Yeah, party hard for me when I'm gone. Yeah, sing along to the songs that I sung to you. Party hard for me when I'm gone. Carry on. My last I need a with about 6 figures. Yeah, someone who know what to do with it. Someone who ain't on that goofy shit. I need to know what you gon' do. I ain't tryna go through deja vu. It's some bullshit that I went through. Hope it's not the same with you. Don't make me feel away. Days though I never change. Yeah, relieve all the pain. Make me forget those things. Oh, I wanna lay with you. See what this thing will do, yeah. Put me on something new. Put me on, cause I want something. Something that I can feel. I want something that I know is real. I want something. Something that I can feel. Come and put me on the real. Got me running it back in my mind. Baby, I had to pause, gotta rewind. Now I can get it out of my mind. How you make it feel new like the first time. It's real familiar. I don't wanna do too much, but there's something about you that made me wanna give you my love. You remind me, you remind me. Feel like I already know you, even though I don't know
DJ
you.
Elegance.
You remind me, you remind me of a love I never knew. Never had a feel like this. Never had a feel like this. I know you caught the vibes lately. Got me on a high, baby. Never had a feel like this. Never had a feel like this. I know you caught the vibes lately. Got me on a high, baby.
Captivated I am. Rather say you in person while I am making it dance. Can I play with your drum? I have the greatest of hands. Optimism I can't. I can say you the one, but can I say it's a chance? It's love, it's sentimental. Because it's never simple. The results are various, quite serious. So don't take too long, won't chase too little. She's so full of love, full of life, full of pride. I sometimes wonder what's enough. Is enough just a yellow light? Gotta slow down.
I care for you more than my own self. Darling, I'll share with you all goodness and wealth. Said we can have just one night, or we can have one whole life if we play it cool. Yeah, we can have that one thing, or we can have everything if our hearts are true. Girl, slow down. Girl, let me love you. Darling, slow down. Let me get to know you.
Baby, I've been fantasizing, just looking in your eyes. You know I'm looking for more, and you're what I've been praying for. This kind of love don't come around like this. I'm not one to play around like this. It's so real, and I love how
What's up, everybody? Listen on the outside. iLive Radio. Let's go.
I love it when we think the same thing. I love the way we move, the way we move. Yeah. We can have every night, yeah. We can have every day. Ooh, I want you to. I need you. Slow down, slow
time. No such thing. I'm just living for now. May not be righteous.
New flavor by Division.
They don't judge me. One more shot, I'm told it. I'm not indecisive. I already know I'm chosen. Try not to get too far. We already passed too far. If we fuck right where we are, when that be outlandish. Oh, would it be too outlandish? Oh, me and you, no 3-2, but we in a zone. Room full of people, but I feel like we're alone. They might be watching, but I didn't notice. Too focused on you. One more shot and I'm fooling. You're the one I'm choosing. Yeah. Try not to take it too far. We already passed too far. We might as well fuck right where we are. Outlandish.
Here we go. Some more flavor. iLive Radio. Here we go.
But I guess I really don't care.
DJ Elegance.
But I wanna let you go there. I wanna try something new all night. I wanna try something new all night. I wanna try something. The way you looking tonight. Only one thing comes to my mind. When the lights come on at 2, I'll still be moving with you. You ain't looking at nobody, just my body. Don't know your name, but I guess I really don't care. I probably should wait, but I wanna let you go there. I wanna try something new all night. I wanna try something new all night. I wanna try something.
DJ Elegance.
Trust me, you're gonna love this. Ain't no sleep. Baby, just tell me you don't love me, and I'll admit it ain't that deep.
New music by Chris Breezy and T-Pain.
I care for some of your real feelings. Oh no, it ain't that sweet, no. Just as long as you're the one who kills me. 'Cause I don't wanna wake up dead. 'Cause I don't wanna wake up dead. 'Cause I don't wanna wake up dead. I don't wanna turn up missing. I can get you out of my head. Baby, I just needed you to listen. 'Cause I don't wanna wake up dead. If I ain't got you, then I'm already gone. Baby, don't leave me alone. 'Cause I don't wanna wake up dead. I'ma take 23 shots of Patron. 'Cause girl, you ain't coming back home. I don't wanna wake up.
She just wanna take your money. She just wanna waste your time. She just wanna show you love. I just wanna make you mine. So many things I can tell you. Boy, you be on my mind. I know you try to give her diamonds, but even if she still don't shine like I do. If they ask me if I want you, you know I'm saying. And you know that she can put it on your life. If we fail that, we do it over again.
Oh, we live in the mix.
Cause you know it ain't the same, no it ain't the same. Slow for me, slow for me, slow for me, slow for me. Slow for me, slow for me, slow for me, slow for me. Slow for me, slow for me, slow for me, slow for me. Slow for me, slow for me, slow
feel the love in the end, baby, you know. Ain't no rush, we've been at it where the time goes. You gonna have to show me now, cause I done had 1 too many drinks. And I know that you feel me the way I've been feeling you. And it's cool that you got a motive, and I think I like it. I know all your insecurities. I hope that you're open. My body gives notice that I want your energy. Girl, give me that good love, no questions. Reach out, you touch me. Bad habits, don't judge me. Just don't waste my time. Love, no questions, baby. Reach out, you touch me. Bad habits, don't judge me. Just don't. I got away, you backed away. Now you act like you don't know nobody. Quick calling your girls for advice. You know damn well they ain't got your back. I look up down, my roof gone, you gone. I woke up, I had to leave my shoes on. It's time to try to get you back, but you never know. I've been feeling for your love, and baby, baby, you know, and baby, baby, you know. If you said you're really done, baby, baby, you know. You know, don't just slow me down. Don't just slow me down. Hey, you won't be around. You won't be around. Don't just slow me. Just show me. Don't just slow me.
DJ Elegance.
Hey, wild things you're doing, where'd you find this? Trips to wherever feels right. Doing it all just to feel things. Drinking's enough of advice. Drugs just aren't suiting you right. You were just fine as a real thing. You know that's not the way to get over me. I don't know what you're saying. You know that's not the way to get over me.
All of a sudden you say you don't want me no more. All of a sudden you say things I close the door. It don't matter to me. It don't matter to me what you say. It don't matter to me. It don't matter to me what you say.
Distance between our bodies. Baby, feel like I want ya. Can I feel back up on ya? The distance between our bodies.
Wicked.
Girl, you whine like a warrior. Be gone in your holster. Distance between us. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Roll tight like grooms. That's how I like my baby. Like I like my chicken. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Y'all come closer to me. So much distance between us. Distance between our bodies. So much distance between us. Distance between our bodies. So much distance. Louis got a lot of fans in it. That's took him to Japan, did it. I done put it out the line and got the lamb in it. I get in that thing in it. I get money. That's just what I like. She so freaky, she gon' ride it like a bike. Put it down in Japan, damn swipe. I get money. That's just what I like. I done drop tickets in a phantom. I done jump on the jet, took it to Atlanta. She done dropped the on me, she don't even got no manners. I get money, I could get it breaking like a fan.
I got a bad look, got a Louis bandana. I be nothing so hard, put 6 burn the fan away. Hot, look up at the haters, man, I know they fake. Me and Rich up on the jet, we never late.
All right, there we have our live mix. DJ Elegance here. I want to thank everybody for jumping on, all the comments, all the energy, everybody on the outside. I want to thank you guys, all the comments, all the thumbs up. And most of all, I want to thank our special guest, Mike Coombs, walking us through the DJ event world, sharing how he's transitioned from radio to profile, event, and celebrity DJ. Music is Everything, the podcast. We'll be back again next week. Please tell a friend to tell a friend. We're here every Sunday evening on iliveradio.com, 9 p.m. till 11. I want to thank also my silent partner behind the scenes, Miss Black Spinese, for all